All right, here we are in a best of three that was played out in the Goblin Cluckfest number 5 last weekend. And this was in the round two between two opponents here. Here we have in the red Celestial 3DB. I thought this was going to be an Infernal versus Infernal as 3DB usually plays Infernal. But B's opponent here in the blue Infernal is Aftermath's Snoxtar. And Snoxtar here already teleporting his Hexen home. I didn't quite see if she went the right direction or not. I think she might have went the wrong direction based on what looks like Fog of War on the mini-map here. And he's opened Vault and then into a Conclave. Forgive me on that. Let me mute my phone. And has opened with some creeping on the health camp, while B has interestingly, I think the first Morph Core went into Ethereum Purifier, and usually the reason you do that I think is for the Quick Prism, and the second Morph Core into a second Arc Ship. I really like this as a strategy out of Celestial. I don't see this very often. Usually you see Collection Array first, but this is going to increase Prism production and Morph Core production right off the bat. While, yeah, we've already upgraded to Tier 2 as well. So something interesting coming out of 3DB. While Snoxtar has put his farm out here, he's going for the speed camp now, which that's pretty standard. We got a scanner out on the map. This is an interesting strategy. Now, it looks like it's an econ build. What do we have here? This is a Legion Hall, and oh, we have Seraphim on the way. That's an interesting portrait. I've never seen that in the building display before. And I'm not sure if Snoxtar knows that this is going to be a fast Seraphim build or not. He's cleared out the vision camp, the 3 standard camps you go for first, and now going across the map. I'm still not sure if Snoxtar knows where B is. Yeah. So Snoxtar's sending these fiends ahead to see is this B's location, and sees no. So now what? Okay. And this is the first Seraphim out, it looks like, and using Evolution Catalyst to take the Luminite camp. And now that that Luminite camp has been taken, for Snoxtar, that's probably a lot of information. Oh, he probably sees this one's taken too now. I didn't notice that one as well. The scanner took that one to start. He knows that there's a tier 2, because the only way these camps could have been taken is with Evolution Catalyst. And now he definitely knows there's some Seraphim, is what that means. It could have meant a couple different things to tier 2, I imagine, but this quickly usually means Seraphim, especially off one base. And unfortunately, these Gaunts, yeah, are not a great match here. I guess 2 Gaunts, 1 Seraphim. Looks like it maybe would have went. The Seraphim might have went down to that last Gaunt, but now that there's 3 Seraphim out, and we did see it looks like these fiends try and run in here, but I'm pretty sure we see some blood splatters on the ground. That looks a lot like Starvin. Oh, maybe this blast node got him. So what that means is that B now has a little bit of a map advantage. At least out on the map, the Seraphim are probably going to outfight any combat units. Although this is a nice little Gaunt ball. That's exactly what you need to fight this. So Snoxtar probably has faced this early Seraphim before and is going straight into mass Gaunts, but is in fact walking. Oh, I thought he was going to walk right up the ramp there, but is instead saying, I'm just going to creep your side of the map. I like this. It's not relinquishing the map control to B, just because B has these mobile units that, you know, can probably dispatch with the army. This army is, well, the Fiends themselves are pretty speedy, and the Gaunts with that speed boost are actually kind of hustling around the map too. Now these Seraphim, I think, are going to try and take out this speed camp, which is going to, well, that Get your orders correct there, old buddy. You're supposed to be sitting in that. You know, these fiends know what they're doing. These fiends passed fiend school. This fiend was a fiend school dropout and didn't learn the essential lessons. Meanwhile, these Therefore, how many are we up to now? That's a scanner coming along here. But okay, so they're out of the way. They're like, we're gonna relinquish this. So this is interesting to see. B's not necessarily engaging. Oh, there we go. I see why. He's trying to get the last kill on those creeps, and I think he probably did. So basically letting Snoxtar kind of tank the creeps, and then just getting that last hit. And now we're getting the Seraphim trying to do some harassment. A nice Manifest Shroudstone. That's a quick little bit of piece of static B that you can drop down with your Animus, of course. And that one, yeah. That one Seraphim's weak. Oh, so weak. How weak? 4, 3, 1. Oh. Bah. Well, the fiend spawned out, but then dead. We got the scanner still chilling out here. Interesting, again, the debuff that or the nerf they put to the scanners is that they can no longer capture if they're invisible. So this scanner's like, fine, I'll just hang out visible over here. That's fine. Anyways, we got, ooh, that blood spatter there tells me that this Archangel came over and got some good kills on that drone line. Let's see if he's going to do it again. No, haha! Psych, thought I was going down to rotate, but I'm really coming right back at you now. I think the Archangel, oops, that bug again. That Archangel's trying to retreat back, heal up. Oh, we got Archangels in rotation right now. So did you repopulate that base? Because here I am ready to squash them again. Blam! Meteor strike. Looked like maybe 3 or 4 went down that time. Couple brutes coming out. But the Archangel just wants to snipe. Ooh, and another meteor strike. That's 3 more going down. Wow, a lot of economic damage from these Archangels so far. And this one flying away to just get healed up as well. Meanwhile, what do we got on the map? The Seraphim are still moving around trying to recapture camps, keep some of that map control, and we're on rotation, like I said. My shift is done, your shift is up. We're now on the night shift. Get back out there. Oh, there's a Shroudstone. Let's avoid it. Very nimbly avoiding it and getting another 3 or 4. And now where? Down to the low ground? Yeah, okay. Those imps are... Too many imps have gone down. They've heard the tale of the Archangel splatters. No! Why do you have to splatter me? 2, and then, oh, 2 Shadow Flyers, then that Archangel actually gets taken down. So with the Manifest Shroudstone plus the Shadow Flyers. What do we got in the back here? Shadow Cleft. That suggests we might be seeing, there we've got a Twilight Spire. We might be seeing some Spriggans out. We have pretty much all air out for B so far, so transferring into some kind of anti-air and air yourself could be useful. I think the Spriggans also, with their bonus damage against heavy, are going to be a good choice against the Archangels. We see how they're doing pretty good damage already. Just 2 of them on this Archangel. But now there's 2 Archangels and splatting some Gaunts. They do. Ooh, they just melt some Gaunts. That poor Archangel's trying to get away. Will his Archangel buddies help? Ooh! The Spriggans get taken out, but so does the Archangel. We have a single Spriggan here, probably going to go down. These brutes are not going to do much. The Gaunts get squashed in a meteor strike. And these 2 Archangels just floating above, saying, I dare ya. What do you got? Those are just fiends and brutes. You can't do nothing. He sees those Gaunts coming. Splat! Oh, meteor strike right on the Gaunts. Splat! Another one right on the Gaunts. Ooh, and again, just rotating those splats. I love it. Lots of damage down on the fiends. Some of the Gaunts going down. Probably not as much damage as you want if you're basically sacrificing your Archangels, as B did there. A single Spriggan chasing this Archangel down. Of course, creating that slow debuff, so the poor Archangel just cannot get away. Blah. But 2 more Archangels already out. And behind this, of course, B has, ooh, just spammed prisms. There's a collection array. There's a collection array there. But as I mentioned, those early second arc ship, where did it go? I see one there. Float over here. Float over here. Oh. Well, there was another arc ship. I'm not sure. It's hard to find though. There he is out front. But it looks like Snoxtar's trying to finds these prisms, comes out here maybe trying to do some pressure or maybe just trying to end the game. Finds an arc ship just flying around and unfortunately does not have enough gaunts to be able to take it out. Meanwhile, there's still been Archangel harass going on in the main base, and it looks like a lot of imps have gone down here. I keep trying to see. That's still Scanner. Thinking it might be another Archangel. This Archangel flying home. Some Spriggans cut him off. Ooh. Is he going to make it back to the safety of his arc ship in Static D? No. And now we got some Spriggans in the main. Ooh, 3 Archangels come to defend with a nice meteor strike down on some Gaunts. Taking out that Spriggan. Boom! Wow, those are some dead Gaunts. And going to clear out the effigy. And it looks like they're also going to clear out the healing camp. Meanwhile, Snoxtar is rotating back to maybe take out this Luminite camp again. This might not work exactly the way that Snoxtar is hoping because the scanner's chilling here. We'll see maybe when the creeps go down. Well, unable to capture the camp, and then yeah, the scanner will capture the camp. Of course, still getting that creep income, which a lot of the time that might be what you're trying to get. Now, see here, he's like, I want to get this camp. Where's that scanner? Brought a skull with him, a couple Spriggans. That's what you got to do. That's a dead scanner, and that's a camp taken out, plus a nice Stompy Magma Boy opening up a nice maybe 4th base there. Ooh, we got 4 Archangels coming in. And here we go, some splits on the imps. But unfortunately, oh, we got upgrades now. Leaving that flamey, that radiant flamey, I don't know what it's called, but that area of effect on the ground there is just extra devastating. If you did not die from the original meteor strike, you're now going to soak in this fiery area of effect. 1 Archangel going down. Actually, that looks like the second one because we started with 4. But these 2 might get away. Looks like it. So Snoxtar is surviving the harass so far. But behind this, 3DB has been expanding. Now, because it has just been mostly eco-harass, Snoxtar himself hasn't really been cut back. Other than the continued loss of imps, meaning a need to continue to produce imps, which is just slowing down that econ. At this point, he could be up to a 4th base, but just has had to been replacing imps over and over at his main and natural. And we see that that's showing up in a supply lead for B. And Snoxtar's now trying to engage in the center of the map where there's a bunch of Archangels, plus there's some of these link nodes. They're not quite up to strike nodes yet. And now those Archangels returning to the air and then meteor striking back down to bring that area effect damage. And just pushing back Snoxtar. Snoxtar deciding to maybe try and get a kill or 2 on these Archangels, but some good micro just to pull them back. And we got this one Mag sort of caught now all by himself, just a few units supporting. They're probably going to be taken out too. Looks like a few managing to retreat. So now we got Argents on the map here for B, and definitely interesting choices of tech for B so far. The initial Seraphim and Archangel harass into maybe a more standard comp now that he's got some bases up. Looks like lots of Ethereum mining going on in the center of the map here. Single Argent here. Brave, brave hero. As well as a scanner who's probably not long for this world. And, well, okay, that's a nice little air for 6 Archangels. And a ball of Argent. 7. The trickle of imps here. They're basically bait to these archangels saying, follow us. Although they find the army and instead turn to engage it because the army was kind of split up. More units in the back, and yeah, that's a GG out of Snoxtar in game 1. Here we are in game 2 of this best of 3. The blue celestial here, 3DB, took the first game with a very interesting harass, one base harass into expand and eventually a win. And his opponent in the red infernal is Snoxtar. Hoping to come and take game 2 to make this a series. And Snoxtar already moving his imp over here. Puts a meat farm next to the health camp. That's a common thing to do. One thing I've been trying to do, mostly by copying, I think Theory it was who I saw do this first, is attack these trees with the imp before you put down the farm, and now your brutes can get in there, if assuming you're going brutes. It's very possible that Snoxtar is... Oh, well, he's got a vault on the map, so... it certainly was possible he was opening Conclave if he expected Seraphim again. And from B, this is looking like that same build. So he opened with Therium Purifier before into a Creation Chamber, and then a second Arc Ship is what he went for. So let's see. Yeah, there we go. So very possibly we're going to see some Seraphim and Archangels again. I think those can be good on this map, although the distance is much farther to fly. So once again, these Shadow Massives are chaotic in the early game to creep, and it's certainly causing a little bit of trouble for Snoxtar there. Taking out one of the Fiends. Although intentionally splitting his other brute, again, as I mentioned, not taking out those trees so the brute can't get in there. But probably that was fine because his intention was to creep with these Fiends all along. Fiends plus Fellhogs, of course. Okay, I like that. I'll often run my Fiends in, attack, and run them back out so that it will target the Fellhogs, but he just hid in the woods and attacked from the distance, and then they targeted the Fellhogs. Of course, that just allows your Fellhogs to do the tanking, and your Fellhogs are free units, so if they can tank, all the better. So these have been taken out, and we now see that there's, okay, a scanner out to take the Therium. This does look the same. Yeah, we have now a Seraphim on the map, another scanner going out, probably to take this other Therium. Again, one of our Arc ships were upgraded to Arc Station, so that now we have access to Evolution Catalyst, and that's almost certainly what we're going to see happen here in 1 second. There we go. So even with that little debuff to the creep, or not the creeps, sorry, the scanners, we still have that same strategy being used by Celestial, at least by B in this case. Again, I mentioned in the last game that B used to main Infernal, so I'm not sure if he's chosen to switch to Celestial permanently, or maybe that's a reaction to this particular patch. That's an interesting, I haven't seen this interaction before yet. So the Fiend came to take the tower. Because the scanner was invisible, the Fiend could take the tower, but the scanner turned visible and fought with the Fiend instead to just kill it. So as we're watching Snoxtar creep out this base here, we are seeing a kind of a little bit more passive strategy out of both of our players, which can be a little bit more common on this map because it's so big. You just feel a little bit safer on your map. It just feels a little bit harder to push all the way across the map to your opponent, so you tend to spend a little bit more time on your side of the map. we see that there's a lot of micro needed to creep this camp for the Seraphim group, but just 4 Seraphim were able to creep it, so that's certainly a benefit of having this Seraphim opening. Fiends trying to capture this one. Again, the scanner trying to jump down. That's weird, sort of being stuck in the trees. Now all that's doing is preventing the Fiends from capturing it. So the Seraphim have returned home, and again we have a single prism out here. Interesting that that prism's not on that array. I'm not certain what that choice is about. These Fiends trying to creep out the speed camp. And actually doing a pretty good job of it. Just noting that the creep pattern of B is one's a little slower, but also, well, maybe not exactly slower with the help of Evolution Catalyst, but it's definitely a different pattern because with the use of the Seraphim and the Evolution Catalyst, you now want to take, you know, the best camps on the map, whereas a more standard creep pattern is to gradually increase the strength of those camps that you're taking while your army is also gradually growing in power and size. Okay, so we do have our first Archangel out on the map. And however, this time there's already Spriggans here to meet it. So unfortunately for 3DB, this Archangel didn't even make it into a mineral line and is instead wasting his Meteor Strike on Fiends, effectively trying to get any value at all. And now we have Fiends over here and Spriggans on top of the Prisms. Now remember, these Prisms are the main way that mining has been going on for B. B has not yet expanded in terms of a collection array, just has sent Prisms to other gold mines. And we're now going to see this macro arc ship going down as well. So Snoxtar's adjusted his build. These earlier Spriggans are really helpful for dealing with this air, you know, heavy air build. Now these Seraphim, I'm pretty sure they're light, so the Spriggans don't do bonus damage to them. But the Seraphim are sitting ducks because they don't hit air. They fly in the air, but their guns are super heavy, so they can only point down. And, you know, that's on Celestials for not designing lighter guns, of course. But this poor Seraphim is like just going down. And I like the idea that Snoxtar has here of just splitting his units. Just as B tried to split his Seraphim up, he split his Spriggans up as well. This Spriggan's just the only one assigned, saying, just go kill that one, please. Meanwhile, the rest of the armies over here, having cleared up what was in this natural, which was mostly prisms. Or did that prism run away? It ran away. And this army could probably just pressure the main. But I think just trying to make sure it's the right choice, you know, making sure there's not a natural that could be an easier target. And of course, you don't want to be sacrificing your units into the main if there is another main basically somewhere being rebuilt. So Snoxtar, I think, decided, not sure if that was going to be a winning battle up into the main, and deciding to retreat. And what we see out of B now is Vectors. Vectors actually pretty good anti-air, so the Vectors should be useful against the Spriggans. They're also not bad against Gaunts in terms of skirmishing with them, as long as the Gaunt number's not too high. So maybe a good idea. 2 Brutes here. That's an interesting choice to keep the tower. But the Vectors, it looks like not having too much trouble to deal with that. But the Spriggans come in. Now the Spriggans, again, as I mentioned, not the best choice for the Vectors. Maybe because there's only 3 Vectors there, but those Vectors do pretty good damage against Spriggans. So they do try and turn and fight and maybe get some good trades. Unfortunately, the Archangel goes down, and now we're seeing some Vectors going down as well. These vectors are trying to retreat back to the safety of their base, but it's not clear that that's going to be enough. They delta jump away. Looks like they might be upgraded. But they are unfortunately just 3 or 4 of them not going to be able to deal with this army, and this army is almost upon them. We have one Archangel out, getting a good meteor strike down. A blast node there, so again, one reason why it's hard to push in here is because there is a blast node there. The blast node is also very well sim-citied. So Snoxtar is deciding, okay, I can't attack in that direction. Going back to reclaiming the speed camp, get a little bit of speed juice, get that extra bonus. And then okay, heading, just retreating it looks like. Blast nodes are good, you know. You see one and you realize having a 80 supply lead is just not gonna be enough. Let's get 100 supply lead. And I don't blame them, because you could easily lose that lead very quickly if you start charging into a blast node. And maybe he's just thinking, well, what do you need against that kind of static D? You need some Hellborns. So maybe we'll see some Hellborns coming out here. Do we see? We see Gaunts, more expansion. Imps being transferred, it looks like. No Hellborn yet. But maybe just trying to get more ahead. Basically, I think Snoxtar knows that B is on one base. He's gone and killed all the other bases. You're on one base, B. I'm on 5, 6. And if you're not going to GG out, then fine, I'm going to go max out and roll your one base in 5 minutes. Which is, you know, not a bad strategy, because, again, if B thinks he's got a way to win this game, he's got some kind of secret tech or some way to get back in it, then if you're Snoxtar, you want to make sure that you're invulnerable to that secret tech by making sure you've got a rich economy, your upgrades are all on check, that you're ready for any tech switch that you need to. And again, I think Snoxtar is probably here just saying, where are your other bases? If you're confident enough to stay here, there's probably other bases. There's only this single prism mining here, so that can't be it. And I think if Snoxtar starts taking out these these Therium camps, again, that's hitting into the income of B. And since B's on one base, B needs that income. And now we can see what B's been doing back home, building up this army, but unfortunately this army is just small compared to what Snoxtar's been able to build with his economy. We see almost 150 supply lead for Snoxtar, and now we're starting to see a battle. We had some Shadow Flyers managed to impact on these Archangels, but now the Spriggans are engaging the Vectors, because again, the Vectors are a pretty good counter to air. Although there's just not enough of them. There was a big ball, and now we get a GG out of B. So that means we're going to game 3. All right, here we are in game 3. The final game of this best of 3 from the Goblin Cluckfest number 5. And this game is starring Snoxtar, who tied it up in the last game. And his opponent here, 3DB. Again, normally an Infernal player, at least in the past an Infernal player, now playing this Celestial faction and playing an interesting Celestial build. This is certainly not the kind of build we're seeing out of Nina or Grimmy or even out of Parting, some of the other common Celestial top of the ladder folks that we're used to. Instead, B's doing it's a Seraphim build that I have seen a variation of this build done by Grimmy and Nina and so on, but this is just a very unique, interesting version. Again, starting with an early Therium Purifier, which gives you access to a second prism extra fast, and then that prism can mine your first 50 I'm not sure if Arc Ship needs 50 or 100 to upgrade to Arc Station. But the prisms mine the Therium very fast. So even if it's 100, you only need 2 trips. And then again, the other thing we're seeing here is that there's this very fast second arc ship, which comes right as the arc station, it looks like, is completing, which helps to, let's see what we're going to get out of this arc station or arc ship as it arrives. Not queued up anything yet. But we do have a morph core out of, so I thought they might be trying to build prisms. What's the point of this arc ship if it's not building anything? I'm not sure. I'm trying to see the logic and the beauty of this build. Because you'd think maybe the arc ship's for mining, but the Therium purifier is already there. Alright, let's get back out. Let's stop analyzing this build and see what's going on the map. We had the scanner come and take this Therium camp. This was another part of B's build, which is after getting that initial tier 2, we saw that one of the first units produced was this scanner to come take the Therium camp. And the Therium camp, of course, is going to give a bunch of income. And now I think Snoxtar's saying, if you're going to one base Seraphim me, maybe I will one base kill you before you can get your Seraphims out. And sure enough, going straight in. The blast node that's usually here to protect is not yet up. And we've got a Sarvin's Watch trying to take out some of these fiends. But we have Gaunts, the 2 Seraphim coming back, 2 Sarvin's Watch. This is going to be more than they can deal with. The Hexen is going down. And the Gaunts, in fact, unfortunately turned away for Snoxtar. This pressure is not going to work out. The Seraphim's now in a battle with the Gaunts. One Gaunt taken out.
Closes in.
They focus on the effigy so they can't get any healing to that Shroud Skin. That scanner always tricking me. What's that unit over here? Oh, it's a scanner. So, Snoxtar, what are you going to do now? I think I like this trick. It looks like he's aiming over for the speed camp. Let's just go. If I can't come and do pressure, then I will just try and steal the creeps on your side of the map. But these Seraphim, find these 2 Gaunts that are just misrallied or taking the wrong pathing, and they get taken out. And if they had just turned north, they would have been able to steal a couple more. There they go. Couple more Gaunts. Oh, I was going to say for free, but it's not clear. Yeah, B's just trying to micro his units. Looks like he's saying, hey, I'd rather have full health Seraphims than dead Seraphims, which I guess is a pretty good choice. We have a Cabal out. Now, what's that about? I don't know. I do love some Cabals. Let's see what's the purpose. Which of the spells that the Cabal uses is B thinking about here? So this happened in game 1 where they were both creeping, but we see that, yeah, B is just going to try and last hit and steal the creep. So I'm not sure that that's a good choice for Snoxtar, other than it's just aggressive. It's just, hey, I'm here, I'm in your face. If you are trying to move out, I'm trying to track on your Seraphim so that I can hopefully do some damage. We got a 4th Seraphim out. Now, what I noticed from B's build before is that usually after about 4 Seraphim, he switched to Archangel production. And I think that has to do with an Arc Fortress, and he does have an Arc Fortress now. I can't click on the other buildings because... which is the right building? There's a Legion Hall. It's not producing anything. Here's a Legion Hall, also not producing anything. And here's a bunch of Brutes and Gaunts right in the base. We have Sovereign's Watch going down, but now there's like just too much units here. That strike node, or that link node, has not yet become a strike node. And it looks like this is just going to be buildings going down. The Seraphim have been called back, but a couple Gaunt try and chase them away. They're already a little bit low. They are picking up these Gaunts over here on the side. But these Gaunts and Fiends are picking off buildings, and buildings make stuff. You need the buildings. More Gaunts melting. Another Sovereign's Watch going down. I just don't think there's going to be a hold here. We have some link nodes in the back that might be changing into strike nodes. It's not clear. But yeah, more units trickling in. More Fiends on top of Legion Halls, on top of nodes. Maybe if some of those had been blast nodes already, there might have been a fighting chance. But we now see the Arc Ship going down. Yeah, it's more power banks trying to get summoned in, but they're already being attacked by Fiends. And more power banks just going down. We're now at minus 61 power. I think that's got to be it. These prisms have migrated away. It's not clear why B would still be in the game. Maybe I missed he's left the game. Sometimes these replays continue for a while. Though that Archangel ran away and tried to... So it looks like 3DB is still in the game trying to find some way out of it. I'm not sure what could be the path now. Yeah, there's just nothing left. Oh, there we go. Doesn't know why his turn didn't upgrade. So, yeah, that's probably too bad. He had made those turrets and he had made that turret in the SimCity, and maybe he had been hoping to rely on that and was just trying to stay in the game there. But that's a GG, well played out of B, and that's the end of this best of 3.